4 errors. Anyways, welcome everyone to our Week 9 matchup. Number 14, Central Florida against number 2, Southern Methodist University. We're in for a great fight today. We got SMU, who's favored by 1. So Vegas thinks it's a close game, and I want to hear your predictions in the chat. So let me know what you think this game is going to end up for the score, and we will get right into it. Okay, so Poke is not confident at all. He thinks it's UCF 41, SMU 17. I think so Laz thinks it's going to be a little bit closer, still a UCF win. Let's hear some other people. Are we going to have both coaches that are sandbagging today? Okay, yes, we do. All right, not a surprise. This entire league's full of sandbaggers. Surprised XL and JQ aren't in here. Okay, so we're tied 2-2. We're going to see how this is going to end up today. All right. UCF, since you are the visitors, I will let you pick. Would you like heads or tails? Jack, heads or tails? Heads. And it is heads. And UCF will elect to defer. They will be kicking it off. And let's get started with this game. Darnell Allen is going to kick it off to the 1-yard line. Jaquez Charles is going to return that 16 yards to set up the first drive of the game on the SMU 17-yard line. Kyle Brown drops back to pass. He's looking for Jason Ricks, but that's going to be incomplete. Second down. Kyle Brown drops back to pass again. He liked Jason Ricks on the previous play. Jason Ricks is running a post route, and he finds him at the line of scrimmage. And Jason Ricks is just going to keep going. There's no one over the middle of the field. He's going to be tackled at the SMU 31-yard line for a gain of 14. First down, Mustangs. Paul Brown's going to drop back to pass again. This time he finds Ronald Williams at the 40, and he's going to fight for a couple more yards in the first down. It's going to be first down at the SMU 42. This air raid offense is definitely getting to work very quickly. If you take a look at SMU's roster, you'll see their entire roster is stacked of amazing, speedy, almost all of them senior wide receivers. So that's going to be a big thing that we're going to want to see today if the Mustangs want to win this game. But back to the game here. Kyle Brown's going to drop back to pass again on first down and 10 at their own 42-yard line. He's going to find Sean Ugochukwu, but he drops the pass. They're going to go second down. This time, the SMU offensive coordinator wants to spice it off a little bit. Kyle Brown's going to hand the ball off to Josh Bailey. He goes on a little trip outside the tackles on the right side. He's going to break a tackle, and he's going to find open ground. He's going to be pushed out of bounds for 11 yards. And SMU's already in UCF territory. They've only been on offense for the last 2 minutes, and they're already in Golden Knight territory. Well, Kyle Brown hands the ball off again to Josh Bailey. That last play worked, but it's not going to work again. He gets stuffed to the line of scrimmage. He wiggles his way in for 2 yards. Second and 8 at the UCF 45. Kyle Brown is going to drop back to pass. First read isn't there to Rick. Second read isn't there. Kyle Brown is getting pressured. He's running around to his left, but then he sees Sean Ugochukwu streaking across the field wide open. He's going to lob a pass up and into double coverage, but Ugochukwu comes down with it, and he's going to get 23 yards with that massive bailout pass. First and 10 on the UCF 22-yard line. Kyle Brown's going to hand the ball off to Josh Bailey again, and Josh Bailey's going to run through the A-gap. He's going to shimmy out of the tackle. He's going to go for 10 yards, first and 10 on the UCF 12-yard line. Yes, that is how I'm going to be pronouncing his name. Kyle Brown, he's going to hand the ball off to Josh Bailey. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But he gets plugged up at the line. He gets met at the line of scrimmage. He's going to get 0 there. It's going to be second down. For some reason, SMU's offensive coordinator thinks that running the ball is their strong suit, but this time they're going to try a different back and then give it off to John Peterson. Peterson's going to go through the B gap on the left side. He's going to use his long length to get 4 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 6 on the UCF 8. Poke, what are you going to call here? You going to call a run or a pass? Looking at your roster. QB draw. You're close. Your offensive coordinator kind of doesn't agree with you, but he likes the idea of running it. He's going to hand the ball off to Josh Bailey. Bailey is going to go right through the line of scrimmage with a head of steam, and he's going to fight his way into the end zone for an 8-yard rushing touchdown. 6-0 Mustangs with 9:26 to go in the first quarter. And the extra point by Caden Wilson is up and good. So the Mustangs strike first this crucial AAC matchup, 7-0 with 9 minutes left in the first quarter. Caden Wilson is now going to kick it off. He's going to kick it off to the 6-yard line, and Whit Brewster is going to return the kickoff 19 yards all the way back to the 25-yard line. But on the play, Mike Barnes is injured, the cornerback for UCF. UCF is going to go 3 and out here. So we're gonna skip that drive very briefly in the interest of time. UCF is now going to is going to punt the ball away, and SMU is going to start at the UCF 43-yard line with 6:46 in the first. First play, Kyle Brown drops back to pass. He sees Ricks running wide open on the right side of the field. He's going to let it fly. But at the last second, Kyle Brown is hit as he throws, and that ball's going to fall into the hands of Jonathan Williams. And he's going to take the ball, return that interception 7 yards, and UCF is going to get that ball right back up. Big missed opportunity from the SMU Mustangs. They could have gotten another touchdown there only if the O-line had a couple extra milliseconds of protection, but no, UCF is going to take the ball right back, and they're going to have very good field position. All right, 1st and 10 on the UCF 46-yard line. Greg Hughes, the transfer quarterback, hands the ball off to Jacob Johnson, who is not their starter, but their second running back, who's going to rush for 12. 1st and 10, the SMU 42. Greg Hughes is going to hand the ball off now to starter Mitchell McCarthy. Some people argue that he's the best running back in all of college football these days. He's going to run outside the tackles, and he's going to rush for 7, 2nd and 3rd on the SMU 35-yard line. They've been handing the ball off all afternoon, and they're not going to stop. Greg Hughes is going to hand the ball again to Mitchell McCarthy as a head of steam trying to get the first down, but he is stopped just short of that line to gain its 3rd and 1 on the SMU 33-yard line. Greg Hughes is going to take it himself now. He's going to drop back to pass. It's a fake QB draw. He's actually going to come back, and he's going to find Charles Marshall wide open, running that slant for 19 yards before he's pushed out of bounds by the safety. An interesting play call there. Everyone and their mom thought that Greg Hughes was just going to take it himself and run basically a tush push. At the last second, he finds Charles Marshall for 19. 1st and 10 at the SMU 14-yard line. Greg Hughes, he's not going to hand it off. He's going to pass to Zachary Martin for a screenplay, and he's going to fight past the line of scrimmage. He's going to get 4 yards there. 2nd and 10 on the SMU. 2nd and 6 on the SMU 10 with 3:25 to go in the first quarter. Greg Hughes, he's going to hand the ball off to Mitch McCarthy now. He's going to try to wriggle his way past the line of scrimmage, but the hole is quickly blocked by the linebacker. He's only going to be able to get 3. It's 3rd and 3 at the SMU 7. Jack, what do you think? What do you want to call? You want to call a run or you want to call a pass here? 3rd and 3rd at the SMU 7. 2:44 left in the first. What are we thinking here? What are you thinking, head coach? Run the ball as you wish. Greg Hughes is going to hand the ball off not to Mitchell McCarthy, who's taking a break on the sideline for some reason. It's a smoke break or something. But he's going to give it to Jacob Johnson, the backup. He's going to get 3, and there's a huge pile at the line to gain. We don't know if he got the first down. They're going to get the chains out, and he's just going to get the first down. It's going to be 1st and goal on the SMU 4. That second effort by Jacob Johnson probably made the difference there, as UCF is now threatening deep into Mustang territory. Who is Jacob Johnson? No idea. But clearly the head coaches think that he's better than Mitchell McCarthy. First and goal at the SMU 4 then. Greg Hughes drops back to pass. These are some very, very confusing play designs right now. He drops back to pass. He sees Al McClinton running a post route, and he connects with Al McClinton for 4 yards, the short toss for the touchdown. It's all tied 7-7 with 2 minutes left in the first quarter. We're gonna kick the ball off now again. Darnell Allen's gonna kick it off to the 10. Jaquez Charles has another good return. He's gonna return it 23 yards to the SMU 33-yard line. And Kyle Brown is gonna trot out again. He's fresh off his mistake there, although I don't think he considers it his mistake. Rather, he probably considers it his own line's fault. I don't know. That's just that's the diva Kyle Brown we know. But he's gonna drop back to pass himself. And he finds Jason Ricks for 8 before he's pushed out of bounds at the SMU 41-yard line. Now we have Kyle Brown again, who's going to drop back, and he's going to find Ronald Williams for the screen pass, but that screen is blown up immediately. He's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd and 2 at the SMU 41-yard line. All right. Kyle Brown is going to drop back to pass again because, as we've seen here, his ego is much bigger than his care for winning, and he's going to look deep. Jason Ricks is running all the way. He's burnt both of his defenders, and Kyle Brown's going to drop it in there for 24 yards at the UCF 35. Kyle Brown's a diva, but he's a diva for a reason because he knows he's good. And there's still a minute left in the first quarter. SMU is now threatening again at the UCF 35-yard line. All right. Paul Brown is going to hand the ball off to John Peterson. He gets nothing. He's only going to get 1 yard. 2nd and 9 at the UCF 34. Kyle Brown is going to drop back to pass again. This is the designed wheel for Ricks, but Ricks isn't open. SMU maybe like leak their signals or something because everyone's covered. The Knights are covering everyone, and Kyle Brown's looking for someone. He's trying to throw it away, but at the last second, Nick Thompson takes him down in the backfield. He's going to lose 8 yards there. Kyle Brown, he'll give you great throws, but he'll also take way too long in the pocket. It's going to be 3rd and 17 at the UCF 42, and that's going to end the first quarter. Yes, this is the Kyle Brown game. They're going to live and die with Kyle Brown. All right, start of the second quarter then. Kyle Brown tries to make up for that last play. He drops back to pass again. He wants Ricks. He refuses to throw to anyone else. He's just staring at Ricks, but he can't get open. And Aleem Rivers is going to break his block, and he's going to take Kyle Brown down again in the backfield. Back-to-back sacks. This time it's a loss of 7 yards, and that takes SMU out of field goal range as well. It's 4th and 24 on the Knights' 49-yard line. Mega missed opportunity there by Kyle Brown. Is that an insult to Johnny Football? Maybe. I don't know. And then they're just going to punt it away for 49 yards and a touchback. So UCF is going to start on the 20-yard line. Greg Hughes, he's going to drop back to pass. Greg Hughes, the transfer. He's looking at Zachary Martin, who's running a fade route on the right side, and he's going to needle it in there. That ball went through 2 defenders' hands, and Zachary Martin's going to get that for 16 yards for the first down. 1st and 10 at the UCF 36-yard line. Hughes drops back to pass. He wants to throw it again to Al McClinton, who had the touchdown earlier, but he's covered. He wants to throw it to Zachary Martin. He's covered. He wants to throw it to Mitchell McCarthy, who's in the backfield. He's also covered. Everyone is covered here, but Greg Hughes is going to run it out of the backfield. He's looking like Lamar Jackson. He spin moves a guy, and he slides down right at the yellow line for 10 yards and the first down. A little bit of Lamar Jackson from the transfer quarterback. 1st and 10 at the UCF 46-yard line now. For some reason, Jacob Johnson is getting all the carries. And he's going to get another one here. He's going to rush for 2 yards. 2nd and 8 at the UCF 48-yard line. Greg Hughes is going to drop back to pass again. He's looking at the swing pass for Alma Clinton, and Alma Clinton has a huge field ahead of him. There's no defenders on that side, but he takes his eye off the football, and he's going to drop that easy pass in the backfield. Luckily, that was a forward pass, so it's going to be ruled incomplete, but oh man, if Alma Clinton caught that, he would have been gone to the races. 3rd and 8 at the UCF 48-yard line with 11:30 left in the second. Greg Hughes is going to hand the ball off to Jacob Johnson. Jacob Johnson again is going to rush for 4 yards. What is happening with Mitchell McCarthy? Did he have a blow up on the sideline? Did he, I don't know, insult Jack's wife? Did he, I don't know, fail his glasses? What's happening? We're not seeing him that much on the field. And that's going to set up 4th and 4 at the SMU 48 as they hand off the ball to Jacob Johnson again for 4 yards. And they'll have no choice but to punt it away. SMU is going to take over at their 16-yard line and live and die by Cal Brown, right? He's going to go 3 straight incomplete passes for 3 and out, and they're going to punt it to UCF. And for an added salt on the wound, it's a 47-yard punt, but it's going to be returned 21 yards. So UCF is going to have an amazing field position at the SMU 42-yard line with 9:30 left in the game. All right, UCF. They're lining up. They have a trick play up their sleeve. Everyone's jittery. Everyone's excited. And Andrew Irby on the offensive line is going to just twitch a little bit right before the snap. That's going to be a false start on the offensive lineman. That's going to push him back 5 yards, 1st and 15 at the SMU 47. Greg Hughes is going to drop back to pass now. I think Jacob Johnson has blackmailed on the team because he's getting targeted everywhere. Greg Hughes is going to throw it for Jacob Johnson, and it's going to be swatted out of his hands. Big hit there by Jonathan Williams, and it's going to go incomplete. 2nd and 15 on the SMU 47. I think the offensive coordinator has heard Jack screaming on the sidelines now and has finally decided to hand the ball off to their amazing RB1, Mitchell McCarthy. And Mitchell McCarthy proves why he's one of the best backs in the entire league, and he's going to hurdle 2 defenders and somehow rush his way for 10 yards. On that play was the design blitz, and he looked like he was dead to rights in the backfield, but he's going to make his way to the 37-yard line to set up a 3rd and 5. All right, UCF. Looks like they're running a trick play. They're going to run 3 running backs onto the field. Everyone's moving. No one knows what's happening. But Andrew Irby is going to false start again. He doesn't know what's happening either. The center snapped the ball, but before he did so, he just started. I don't know what he did. Maybe he got like an itch. Maybe he got a cramp. But that's gonna be a second false start of the drive, and that's gonna push them back 5 yards again for a 3rd and 10 on the SMU 42-yard line. So UCF has not moved a single yard since returning that punt for 21 yards in prime SMU territory. Greg Hughes now decides to hand the ball off to Mitchell McCarthy. He had so many plays before where he could have, but now when it's 3rd and long, he decides to do so. And Mitchell McCarthy is amazing, but he's still human, and the linebackers are going to get to him at the 2nd level. He's only going to get 6 yards. That sets up a 4th and 4 on the SMU 36-yard line. So just at the fringe of field goal territory. Let's look in on the UCF roster now, looking at their kicker, Darnell Allen. Does he have the stats to make this kick? He's got a kick power of 59, but he's got a pretty good accuracy of 75. They're trotting out the kick team, so we're going to attempt this 53-yarder. It is windy here in Texas, so we got to account for that. But Darnell Allen is lining up for the field goal. The snap is good. The hold is good. But Darnell Allen just does not have the power. That ball is going to land at the 5-yard line, and it's going to be a missed 53-yard field goal. So SMU is going to try to capitalize on basically this free gift by UCF, just throwing away that amazing punt return. 8:48 left in the second quarter. Kyle Brown is going to have a little QB draw, and he's going to rush for 2, followed by Kyle Brown dropping back to pass. He's going to look at the shoot from Ugochukwu, and he's going to find him 6 before he's hit out of bounds, 3rd and 2 on the UCF 49-yard line. Kyle Brown hands the ball off now to Josh Bailey. He actually pitches it back to him, and that reverses the entire field. There's no defenders on that side. Everyone's caught up in staring at the wide receivers, and Josh Bailey has some space to run, and he's going to be taken down at the UCF 37-yard line for 12 yards and a first down. All right, Kyle Brown, he's going to hand the ball off to Josh Bailey again because that play was really good. But SMU knows, UCF rather, knows it's coming. And they're going to stuff him at the line. No gain, 2nd and 10. Kyle Brown says, I don't care, I'm going to do it again. He's going to hand the ball off again to Josh Bailey, but it proves to be a good play call as they're in cover 2. They're not expecting a rush here, and Josh Bailey gets 7 before the linebackers get to the second level. Again, 3rd and 3 at the UCF 30-yard line. Kyle Brown's going to hand the ball off to John Peterson. He's going to he looks like he's plugged up at the line, but he's going to actually go the other way. He finds a hole, and he's going to magically fight for 4 yards, but there is laundry on the field. There is a flag on the field, and it looks to be against the Mustangs. We have a couple O-linemen who look really frustrated with themselves. And yes, indeed, it is on the SMU offensive line. It's holding on Michael Lewis, and that's going to push them back 10 yards again instead of a first down at the UCF 26-yard line. SMU is going to have to settle for 3rd and 13 at the UCF 40. Kyle Brown's going to try to get them into field goal range. He's going to drop back to pass. His first option isn't there, but he finds John Peterson just in the backfield as a safety valve for 4 yards, and that's going to set up a 4th and 9 on the UCF 36-yard line. We do have a defensive lineman, though, on the field. He's not able to get up. Who is it? I think it's Nick Thompson, who is a pretty important piece of the UCF defensive line. I mean, he's a 58 overall defensive lineman. He's tied for their highest overall, so we'll see how that impacts the rest of the game. But let's go back to the action on the field then. 4th and 9 at the UCF 36-yard line. Poke, you wanna kick it? You wanna go for it? It's a 53-yarder. All right, I don't hear anything from him. So, well, I didn't hear anything from him, so they're going to kick it anyways. Caden Wilson, let's look at his stats real quick. Does he have the ability to make the 53-yarder when Darnell Allen couldn't? Darnell only had 59 kick power. Caden Wilson has 63. So they think that they're better, and they're going to go for it. Once again, remember, I told you, it is windy. I don't know if SMU plays in a dome if not, but if they do, it's so windy that the wind is even getting into the dome, and Caden Wilson is going to kick it. He has the power, but it's veering to the left. Is it going to stay inside the uprights? And a huge bonk hits the stadium ears, and that's going to go off the upright, and that's a missed field goal. So one missed 53-yard field goal per team. It's still a tie game with 4:40 left, and UCF is going to recover the ball at their own 43-yard line. A big doink. And Polk is I don't even know the right word. He's berating his kicker on the sideline. Yeah, he does not look pleased with him at all. With his senior kicker, and I mean, Caden Wilson, he's only got a couple games left in this Mustang uniform, but he's not feeling too good about himself there. All right, Greg Hughes is going to hand the ball off to Mitchell McCarthy, which I think Jack really appreciates, but he's not going to appreciate the fact that he only gets 1 yard here, and that's going to force Greg Hughes to drop back the pass. He's going to look for Mitchell McCarthy out in the backfield, but he actually sees Zachary Martin streaking across the field wide open, and he's going to get He's just gonna throw it up over the middle of the field, um, get it to Zachary Martin, 13-yard gain. That's going to be a first down. First and 10 at the SMU 43-yard line. Greg Hughes drops back to pass. He was actually muttering an apology to Mitchell McCarthy after that last play because he didn't throw it to him. He's going to make up for that here because he's going to find them in the backfield again, and give him a 6-yard reception, second and 4 at the SMU 37-yard line. Greg Hughes still wants to assert himself as the alpha male on this offense, though. Decides to kick Mitchell McCarthy off this play, and he's going to get Jacob Johnson on. I think the entire stadium knows that Jacob Johnson's going to get the ball, and he does. But that doesn't matter because he's going to break through the line of scrimmage. He's ahead of steam. There's 3 Mustangs just piling onto him, and he's going to keep going and keep fighting. And he's going to get to the SMU 25-yard line for a 12-yard gain. Greg Hughes, he's gonna drop back to pass. He's looking. There's a flag on the play, and he's just gonna throw it away because there's no one open. It turns out the flag is going to be on Al McClinton, the wide receiver, and that's gonna push UCF back 10 yards. It's gonna be first and 20 at the SMU 35-yard line. All right. Greg Hughes is going to hand the ball off to Mitchell McCarthy. He's going to get 4, and we're going to go to the 2-minute warning. Greg Hughes has enough of Mitchell McCarthy. He's going to give the ball off to Jacob Johnson now, who's this nobody that no one's ever heard of, but he's going off. He's going to get 10 yards here, 3rd and 6 at the SMU 21-yard line. But Jack really wants Greg Hughes to feed Mitchell McCarthy, so Greg Hughes complies and is going to give McCarthy the ball. But as soon as the defense sees that McCarthy's on the field, they know it's going to him, and they go cover 0, and they blow him up in the backfield. Mitchell McCarthy is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, and they're going to have to settle for a field goal with 1:40 left in the first half. Darnell Allen tries the 38-yarder this time, and he does have a noodle leg, but he has pretty good accuracy as well, and it's going to be good from 38. All right. Darnell Allen is going to kick it off now. It's 10-7 UCF with 1:37 left in the second quarter. Jaquez Charles, he's having a day. He returned 16 yards. But SMU is just going to let's look at this here. No, they're not kneeling it out. They're actually going to go for some score to round out the first half. They're going to hand the ball off to Josh Bailey, and he's going to get 11 yards. He's going to do it again, but he's going to actually lose a yard. He's going to get taken down for a loss in the backfield. SMU calls timeout with 47 seconds left in the first half. 2nd and 11 on their 32-yard line. Kyle Brown takes the ball. He doesn't see anyone open. He's going to break to his left. He's going to try to get out of bounds, and he does, but he's not going to get a single yard, and it's going to be 3rd and 11 at the SMU 32-yard line. Laz wants Kyle Brown to nuke it, and Kyle Brown has the exact same idea. For some reason, SMU is calling Hail Mary. All of them are getting set, and they're just running as far as they can down the field, and Kyle Brown just launches into triple coverage, and it's going to get batted down at the 25-yard line. It's actually going to get juggled by Jason Ricks, but he's not able to put his hands on it, and that's going to fall harmlessly to the ground. Very, very quick drive there that stalls for SMU, and they're going to have to be forced to punt it back to UCF with 37 seconds left. Ivory Montague, 68-yard punt, booming leg. Someone put him on the soccer team. That's going to go back for a touchback with 31 seconds left in the half. Hey, Coke, I will answer your question at halftime. All right. Greg Hughes hands the ball off to Mitchell McCarthy. I don't think both of these offenses understand they're within the 2-minute warning. Why are you running it? But he's going to get 2, and SMU is going to call timeout because apparently they want UCF to have more plays or something. I don't know. But UCF is not going to want to play that game. Mitchell McCarthy is nowhere to be found. Jacob Johnson is huffing and puffing. He's been used too much. They have no intention of basically turning the ball over and giving SMU another chance to go for it. So they're just going to start taking some knees, and they're going to kneel it out to end the first half. All right. 10-7 at the end of the first half. Number 14, Central Florida, is leading over number 2, Southern Methodist. I'm going to take a quick water break so I can answer a coach's question. Come back in like literally 10 seconds. Alrighty, we are to start off the second half, but UCF is not here. They are not mentally present. They are going to go 3 and out because of a 10-yard sack. And they're going to punt it 52 yards. So SMU is going to actually get the ball now at the own 27-yard line. Kyle Brown hands the ball off to Josh Bailey. Josh Bailey looks for a gap, and he's going to find one. He's going to get 7 yards, second and third at the SMU 34-yard line. Kyle Brown now is going to drop back the pass. He's looking deep. He wants to air it out. He finds Kenneth Ferguson, who's going to reel it in on the sidelines. He gets 1 foot down, and that's going to go for 16 yards. First down on midfield now. Kyle Brown is going to hand the ball off to Josh Bailey. He's not going to get anything. He's going to hand it off to John Peterson. He's only going to get 1 yard. He's going to try to pass it to Sean Ugochukwu. He's going to get nothing. 3 plays, 1 yard. And SMU is going to have to punt it away. All right. SMU punts 55 yards with a touchback, and it's time for UCF to take over. But for the second straight drive, they're going to stall out. It's going to be another 3 and out, and SMU is going to have the ball again. Greg Hughes is in shambles right now. He doesn't even have 100 yards passing at this point. He's been sacked. He's seeing receivers just drop the ball. Everything is going through his mind. In fact, neither quarterback is really having a good game today. I don't know what's going on with these guys, but I think the only person that's decently having a good night today is Josh Bailey. No one else is really doing anything for either offense. But back to the game, UCF is going to punt it away for 48 yards. Jaquez Charles continues his insanity run today. He's going to return the punt 23 yards, but there is a flag on the play. There is an illegal block in the back on J.J. Lyman, and that's going to push him back. SMU is going to start on their own 36-yard line. Kyle Brown, he's going to hand the ball off to John Peterson. Now he's going to go outside the right tackle. He's going to stiff arm the defender, and he's going to get 9 yards here up to the SMU 45-yard line. Kyle Brown, he loves getting yards, but he also loves doing none of the work. He hands the ball off to Josh Bailey. Josh Bailey is going to fight for the first down. He's getting a lot more. He breaks a tackle, and he's going to get pushed out of bounds at the UCF 44-yard line for an 11-yard rush. Kyle Brown hands the ball off to Josh Bailey. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it is broke here. He's going to get stopped at the line of scrimmage. He's going to gain 0 yards here, second and 10 at the UCF 44. Kyle Brown now takes the snap. He's going to roll out to his right. There is absolutely no pressure. Everyone is downfield, and Kyle Brown sees this, and he's just going to take off. He's past the first down marker. He slides into the UCF 30, and he's going to get the first down in the 14-yard rush. Kyle Brown now continues the ground game, hands the ball off to Josh Bailey. He's going to get 1 yard here. Second and 9 at the UCF 29. Kyle Brown now is scared that UCF is just going to keep going cover 0 now that they've understood that they're just going to keep rushing. So he takes the ball. He's going to drop back, but he's going to evade 1 tackle, but his helmet gets hurt. So now the back of his helmet is blocking his eyes. Kyle Brown can't see anything, and he's going to blown up in the backfield. He's running backwards. He doesn't know which way he's running. And Mike Winters is going to take him down for an 11-yard loss. That is a very funny looking play. On the snap, the defensive tackle just reached over, just took a scratch at his helmet, turned it around. he was running backwards. He didn't know which way he was going, and he couldn't just throw it away because maybe he'd be throwing backwards. That might have been a fumble. Maybe that'd be intentional grounding. He's just forced to keep it, and Mike Winters takes him down for an 11-yard loss. It's 3rd and 20 at the UCF 40-yard line. Paul Brown just admits defeat. He's going to hand the ball off to Josh Bailey. He's going to get 7 yards to the UCF on 33-yard line. Now here comes the decision. Does SMU want to go for another kick, or do they want to go for a punt? They tried it when they were at the 36 when they went for the 53-yarder. Now they're at the 33. There's 4:50 left in the third. Poke, what do you think? What do you want to do? This would be a 40. This would be a 50-yarder. And Poke says punt the expletive ball, and they are going to oblige. I want to use just going to kick it away 42-yard line, 42 yards for the touchback. Greg Hughes, he's now going to hand the ball off to Mitchell McCarthy, who's going to bounce around for a 12-yard gain. Greg Hughes, he's going to roll to his left now. He fakes to Mitchell McCarthy. He's going to take it himself. He's going to dive for the first down marker, but he's just short. That's going to be 9 yards, 2nd and 1 on the UCF 41-yard line. Greg Hughes now hands the ball off to Mitchell McCarthy. Mitchell McCarthy is going to fight through the blitz, and he's going to get 3 first and 10 on the UCF 44. Greg Hughes drops back to pass, looks for Jacob Johnson, who, by the way, is listed on the depth chart as a wide receiver. So do not ask me why he's taking so many carries today. But Jacob Johnson, in the heat of the moment, just drops the pass. I don't know what he was doing. It's going to be 2nd and 10 at the 44-yard line. Greg Hughes is going to hand the ball off to Jacob Johnson. Now, what blackmail does he have on Greg Hughes? And he's going to take him, but because he's a wide receiver, he has no idea what he's doing. And he's only going to get back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to get taken down for a 1-yard gain. It's 3rd and 9 at the UCF 45. 1 minute left in the third. Greg Hughes decides, hey, I could throw it, but I could just keep being lazy and just handing it off to random running backs, and he's going to do the latter. He's just going to give it to Zachary Martin, who, in his defense, actually gets a pretty good rush out here. He's going to go through the B gap, and he's going to fight through the linebackers. He's going to make his way to the SMU 48-yard line after a big pile and a big push to set up 4th and 2 with 43 seconds left in the third. For some reason, the UCF offense is staying out there. Greg Hughes, he's calling audibles. I don't know if they're trying to draw an offsides call, if they're actually going for it. Jack, what are they doing? What are we doing here? But people are in motion. Everything is happening. It looks like a real play, and the ball actually gets snapped. Greg Hughes drops back the pass. He's looking at Mike Hill, who's just coming right across the field, and it goes to his hand. It hits the helmet, and it just falls harmlessly to the ground. That's going to be a turnover on downs at the SMU 48-yard line. That's a very, very interesting call by Jack. But now SMU is going to get it at basically midfield with 39 seconds left in the third quarter. Yes, surprisingly, it was not a run to Jacob Johnson, the wide receiver. Once again, do not ask me why he's doing that. All right, Kyle Brown is going to take over at the SMU 48-yard line. He heard the hate in chat. He's going to drop back the pass. He's going to air out to Ronald Williams. He's going to fit it in a tight corner for 18 yards. 1 second left in the third quarter as he falls out of bounds at the UCF 34-yard line. Kyle Brown is going to hand the ball off now to Kenneth Ferguson, who hasn't seen much action today. But because he hasn't seen that much action, he is fresh. He just bursts through the line of scrimmage, bursts through the A-gap with a burst of speed, is ahead of steam, and he is going to get 11 yards to round out the third quarter, and they're going to have the ball on the UCF 23-yard line. So at the end of 3, we have SMU down 10-7 against Central Florida, but they are threatening at the UCF 23-yard line with a quarter to go, and a very, very interesting offensive output here. Kyle Brown hands the ball off now to Josh Bailey, who's going to fight through the traffic but only get 1 yard. Kyle Brown now drops back to pass. He's looking for the seam, With Kenneth Ferguson, he's going to throw it, but he's hit as he throws, and that ball is going to fall to the ground incomplete. 3rd and 9 now at the UCF 22-yard line. Kyle Brown takes a snap, but there's flags on the play. It's a false start. It's going to be a false start on left guard Mike Lewis. He just twitched before the snap, and that's going to push him back 5 yards on this crucial offensive possession. It's 3rd and 14 at the UCF 27 rather yard line. All right, Kyle Brown drops back to pass. He's looking for Kenneth Ferguson. He's not open. He's looking for Josh Bailey. He's not open. He's going to take it himself. He has some green in front of him, and he's going to get 12 yards, and he's going to fight for that first down, but he's not going to be able to get it. It's going to set up a 4th and 2 at the UCF 15. Poke, what are we thinking here? Are we going for it? We're deep in night territory, but we also are only down 3, and it is the 4th quarter. What is the move here? It's 4th and 2. We're going to wait for the head coach's response. Are we going for it? Are we not? What are we thinking? Are we settling for the field goal? Kick it. All right. Well, in accordance with what Poke's saying, the field goal team is on the field. They're getting ready to kick it, but now the kicker is just he's sprinting back to the sidelines. They're getting Kyle Brown back on the field, and they're gonna go for it. They're gonna try to get UCF off guard. Kyle Brown's gonna hand the ball off to Josh Bailey. Josh Bailey easily gets the first down here. UCF is not ready at all. Amazing deception there by Poke. He even made the other coaches think that he was gonna kick it. But Josh Bailey's gonna fight for 7 yards, and SMU is also gonna call timeout to discuss this. But it's going to be 1st and goal at the UCF 8 with 13 minutes left in the game. Yes, I know, genius. Can't miss a field goal if you don't kick it, right? And their kicker, what's his name? Caden Wilson, he hasn't made a field goal yet all game today. So why would you trust him here with the game on the line? And the coaches have already been berating him. Caden Wilson probably has no confidence right now. It's probably the right move to go for it. SMU, they're going to take the snap, but there's a flag on the play. The entire line of scrimmage is pointing at each other. Who is it? And Gerald Francis is the infringing player. That's going to be a neutral zone infraction, and that's going to move the ball 5 yards closer to the end zone. Instead of 1st and goal on the 8, it's going to be 1st and goal on the 3. And for some reason, SMU decides to call timeout here, even though it's right after a penalty and the clock isn't moving. So I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they just want a really good play. But the timeout is useless because Kyle Brown is going to hand the ball off to Josh Bailey and he's going to get 0 yards. He's going to get blown up. And it's going to be 2nd and goal at the UCF 3-yard line. Kyle Brown takes the snap again. He's going to fake the pass to Ferguson. He's actually just going to pitch it back to Josh Bailey. Josh Bailey is going to go around and he's going to fight his way into the end zone for the 3-yard rushing touchdown. Caden Wilson makes the extra point. It's 14-10 SMU with 12:13 left in the game. So SMU, after a long drive, finally score after Pope tells them, settle down, just hand it off. And that's exactly what works. To take the lead. Jack is pleading with his team. He wants his team to lock in, but the offense in the second half has just been putrid. They've been horrible. The first 2 drives, just been 3 and outs. They haven't had much better since. All right. Caden Wilson's going to kick it off for a touchback. Greg Hughes is going to hand the ball off again to Jacob Johnson. What are we doing? And they're not even calling for screens or pitches or whatever, or motions. They're just handing it off to him like he's a running back. And Jacob Johnson, he's going to not even get it to the line of scrimmage. There's going to be a blitz. Everyone knows Jacob Johnson's getting the ball, and he's going to be blown up in the backfield. It's a loss of 2. 2nd and 12 at the UCF 23. Mitch McCarthy now is just going to force his way onto the field. He's getting jealous. He's like, where's the ball? This is my team. And he's going to take a direct snap, and he's just going to run as fast as he can straight into the line of scrimmage. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it turns out for him. It's not going to work out. He's only going to get 1 yard. He gets half of the loss of Jacob Johnson's last playback, and it's 3rd and 11 at the UCF 24. Once again, as I was saying, putrid offense. I don't know what blackmail Jacob Johnson has on what staff member, what offensive member, but it's clear that whatever he has, it's pretty damning. Greg Hughes is going to drop back to pass now. He sees no one open, so he's just going to toss to Mitchell McCarthy in the backfield as a safety valve. But Mitchell McCarthy, he's going to stiff arm the defender. He's going to fight his way. He's got 9 yards right now, but he's pushing. There's a huge pile behind him, and the offensive line are going to be able to push him past the line to gain, just getting enough for the first down. That is their first down in a while. First and 10 on the UCF 35-yard line. Greg Hughes sees all of that. He sees what Mitchell McCarthy just did for the team. And he's like, you know what? You know what would be a great play? Handing the ball off to Jacob Johnson. So he does exactly that. And Jacob Johnson is going to get 2 yards. Mitchell McCarthy then reminds him, hey, I am the best running back in the league. And Greg Hughes is like, oh, right, I forgot you existed. And so he's going to hand the ball off to Mitchell McCarthy. He's going to get 13 yards and get to the 50-yard line, midfield, with 9:52 left in the fourth. Greg Hughes drops back the pass. He sees John Brown streaking wide open down the sidelines. His eyes light up. He's looking for the perfect moment to throw to him. He's wide open. If he connects with this pass, it's a perfect touchdown all the way. But he takes too long. He doesn't see Stephen Percy let up on his block, and he's going to get blown up. But the ball is loose. The ball is loose on the ground, and there's a huge pile. Who's got it? Everyone says that they've got it, and the refs are taking everyone off the pile. Greg Hughes with this massive blunder. And Stephen Percy, the guy who gave up the sack, he is going to recover the football. So it remains Golden Knight football, but they're going to lose 2 yards, 2nd and 12 on the UCF 48-yard line. Greg Hughes, he's going to take it himself. He doesn't trust anyone anymore. He's just going to run a for the Golden Knights. 9 minutes left in the fourth. 1st and 10 on the SMU 30, UCF ball. Greg Hughes is going to hand the ball off to John Brown now. Literally anyone, as long as his name is not Mitchell McCarthy. I think that is the depth chart right now. But John Brown, contrary to his name, is going to rush for 5 yards. And Greg Hughes is like, wow, this guy's better than Mitchell McCarthy. So he's going to give the ball to him again. And predictably, he's not going to get anything. So he's going to rush for 0 yards, and it's going to set up a 3rd and 5 on the SMU 25-yard line. Jack is livid right now. He doesn't know what to think. This offensive coordinator might as well just be packing his bags, because I don't know what he's doing after this game. Don't even let him on the flight back home. Anyways, Greg Hughes drops back to pass. He's looking for Mitchell McCarthy, who's running a wheel route. But Greg Hughes just airballs this. I don't know what he's doing. He just throws into the stands. Maybe this is why he's had to transfer out of his last school, because he throws like that. But it's going to be incomplete. 4th and 5 on the SMU 25-yard line. So now Jack has a choice to make. Does he want to go for it? Does he want to kick it? What do we think, Jack? It's 4th and 5 on the 25-yard line, 8 minutes left. Run it to Jacob Johnson. I don't know if the fans want to really do that, and they finally tell Jack. He reasons and he starts pleading with his offensive coordinator, and they will try out the field goal team to try to cut it to a 1-point game. Darnell Allen, who missed the 53-yarder early, is going to nail the 42-yarder, and it's going to make it a 14-13 game in favor of the Mustangs with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Darnell Allen is going to kick it off into the end zone. Jaquez Charles, I mean, he's doing pretty good today, so he's gonna return it again. He's averaging like 19 yards on each of these returns, and he's gonna take 19 yards on this kick return. Kyle Brown, they're just gonna try to kill some clock here. He's gonna hand it off to Josh Bailey 3 times. The first time he loses a yard. The second time, he gains 6 yards. The third time, he gets 13. And that's going to build a first down at the SMU 35-yard line. There's only 5 minutes. There's only 5 and a SMU side, and he's going to just hand the ball off again to John Peterson. He's going to get 7. That's going to be second and 3 rather, on the SMU 42-yard line with 4:42 left in this game. SMU is going to snap the ball again, but Andrew Nix is going to get a false start on the play, and that's going to set them back 5 yards. For some reason, we have an injured Golden Knight on the field. Somehow, for some reason, Jovan Johnson has decided that he is not going to be able to play the rest of the game. And so he is going to be out for a couple of games here. He's going to actually get diagnosed with back spasms. That might have been it. He just decided that, yeah, his back just didn't want to do that. He didn't want to play anymore. So he's just going to walk off the field. And, yeah, he's done for the game. He is done for this game, and he's actually going to be missing the next week as well. But back to the play, Kyle Brown wants to waste more time, so he's going to do so by handing the ball off to Josh Bailey, who's going to get 0 yards. He's going to hand the ball off to him again. Josh Bailey's only going to get 1 yard. So UCF gets the stop that they need, but they only have 3 minutes left here, 4th and 7 at the SMU 38-yard line. Ivory Montague has had a pretty good night as the punter. Punts the ball 30 yards. John Brown catches it for a fair catch. And Greg Hughes comes onto the field, a man on a mission. He's been making wrong reads all day. He's been handing it off to the wrong guy all day. But it's his chance for redemption. He's only down by 1. 3 minutes left. UCF 32-yard line. 1st and 10. Does everyone want to guess what this next play is? I think everyone in this call can guess what this play is. Yes, it is a run to Jacob Johnson. Although, contrary to what some people are saying in the chat, no, Johnson is not good, so he's not going to rush for the touchdown. Instead, he's only going to get 7 yards. Then, Greg Hughes drops back to pass. Guess who's his target on this drive? Guess who's his target? He sees Jacob Johnson wide open because everyone on the SMU defense forgot to account for him because they just only see him as a wide receiver now, and he's going to get 18 yards. And so Jacob Johnson has single-handedly moved the ball up a quarter of the field, and it's 2 minutes and 10 seconds with 4 on the SMU 43-yard line. Jacob Johnson, that's probably the biggest play he's going to have today. Jacob Johnson redemption arc, just give him the Heisman. Yeah, I agree with all of this. Who is this Linsanity dude? But Dominic Dutton, the Golden Knight offensive lineman, decides that, hey, I don't like Jacob Johnson. He's a toxic man. I'm going to false start to rob him of his glory. And so he false starts 1st and 15 on the SMU 48-yard line. 2 minutes, 10 seconds again. What is this call, guys? What do we think? Anyone want to guess? If you are busy typing, Greg Hughes hands the ball off to Jacob Johnson, you would be correct. And because he's doing it for like the millionth time this game, SMU is just in cover 0. They are blitzing, and Jacob Johnson is going to get nothing. He's actually going to lose a yard, and that we're going to go into the 2-minute warning here. 2nd and 16 on the SMU 49-yard line. So at this point, if you're SMU, you're pretty confident that wherever Jacob Johnson is, the ball is going. So you're probably going to guard him, right? Yeah, that makes sense. If you're UCF, you're like, hey, Jacob Johnson is pretty good, but they probably know that we're going to go to Jacob Johnson. So let's go to someone else. Unless we do something different. And so that's both of these teams' mindsets as we go into this next snap. 2 minutes left, SMU 49-yard line, 2nd and 16. Greg Hughes, he's going to drop back to pass. It's actually play action. He hands the ball off to Mitchell McCarthy, but he's going to fake that. He's looking at John Wells. He's not open. He finds Jacob Johnson just running a poster. He's going to find him. and the two safeties collide with each other, and that's going to be open space. Jacob Johnson's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. There's no one's going to get him. Jacob Johnson. Jacob Johnson's going to get 49 yards and the touchdown. What is this man? He's responsible for every single play on this drive, and that's going to make it 19-14. UCF, they're going to take the lead with 2 minutes left in the entire game. What is this, dude? I don't know. But UCF, looking at the score, they gotta go for two here. So Greg Hughes hands the ball off surprisingly to Mitchell McCarthy. But then again, I'm assuming he's really fresh because he hasn't done anything all game. And he's just going to hand the ball off. Mitchell McCarthy's going to punch it in. That's going to be a 2-point conversion, 21-14 UCF with 1:54 left in the game. All right. Darnell Allen's going to kick it off for a touchback. Kyle Brown takes over 154. The Diva has to put the team on his back to try to get this victory. He's going to start out this drive not great with an incomplete pass to Jason Ricks, setting up 2nd and 10 with 1:49 left in the game. Kyle Brown is going to take it himself. He rushes for 8. That's 3rd and 2 at the SMU 33. Kyle Brown now drops back to pass. You've heard of Jaquez Charles all day on the return, so they're going to put him actually as a wide receiver on this play, and they're going to try to screen pass Jaquez Charles, and he's got it, but everyone knows that this is coming, and he's going to get blown up at the line of scrimmage. It's going to set up a 4th and 2 at the SMU 33-yard line. So Polk doesn't really have a choice here. He's got to go for it, because given Jacob Johnson's elite stature, they're not going to get the ball back if they kick it away. There's only 1:40, and they've used 2 of their timeouts already, so they have to go for it. Kyle Brown, then, is going to take the snap. He's going to hand the ball off to John Peterson. John Peterson goes around to the right. He's going to get a block. He's getting another block, and he's free of the line of scrimmage. And he's going to go all the way to the SMU 47-yard line, crucial 4th down conversion. John Peterson gets 14 yards there, 1st and 10 at the SMU 47 with 1:31 left in the game. Kyle Brown drops back to pass. He's looking for anyone at this point. He's looking for Charles, and he throws it, but it goes off the lineman's helmet. It's in the air. It's a mad jump for the ball. It's basically a tip-off. And who's going to come down with it? Kenneth Ferguson will. He's going to get it. It's going to bounce off the helmet into his hands. And because he wasn't the designed receiver, but he's still eligible, he's just going to run for it. He's going to get 26 yards. This miracle of a play. And SMU is going to get up on the 27-yard line with 1:15 left, so plenty of time. Jacob Johnson, I know, I thought he played defense for a second there. But SMU's got it at the UCF 27-yard line with 75 seconds to go and a fresh set of downs. Kyle Brown's drop backs to pass. And he's going to get incomplete to Jaquez Charles. Next play, Kyle Brown drops back to pass again. He's going to try to pitch it back to Josh Bailey, but there's a miscommunication on the snap. Kyle Brown is just going to throw it into open space. Josh Bailey was on the other side of it. He was on his right. He threw it to his left, and there's no one there. And Josh Bailey has to fall on the ball, and they're just going to waste a play there. It's going to be 3rd and 11 at the UCF 28-yard line, and SMU is going to call their final timeout here. They're really going to try to plan this play out. 3rd and 11 at the UCF 28-yard line. These next 2 plays could decide the game. Kyle Brown drops back to pass. He's just looking short. He's trying to make it 4th and manageable. He finds Josh Bailey over the middle for 5 yards. It's going to set up 4th and 6 at the UCF 23-yard line. Remember, SMU is down by 7. They cannot go for the kick. They have to go for the touchdown here. 54 seconds left, but that doesn't matter if they cannot get this play off. Kyle Brown, he's going to... No, he's not dropping back there. He hands the ball off to Josh Bailey, and everyone is befuddled. Even Josh Bailey is befuddled. He's going to slip and that is the game. He falls down with the ball. It's a turnover on downs, and UCF is going to kneel this game out, and that's going to be the game. 21-14. Number 14, Central Florida upsets number 2 Southern Methodist, and what I would like to call this the Central Florida Jacob Johnson legacy game. Amazing. Let's just take a look at this depth chart here. Yeah, Jacob Johnson, he's second on the depth chart, but he does have 85 speed. So, I mean, that makes sense why he's running it so much. I just don't understand why he's doing that much. But that is the game.